In the forgotten town of Hollow Vale, the old church loomed like a skeleton against the moonlit sky. Its bell tower, cracked and leaning, hadn't rung in decades. Locals swore the place was cursed after a strange fire claimed the last priest. When Father Michael, a quiet man with a steely resolve, arrived to exorcise a tormented soul, the air turned sour and the shadows seemed to watch. Michael pushed open the church's warped doors, the hinges screaming like a wounded animal. The air inside was thick, damp, and smelled of mold and something sharper, blood maybe. A tattered letter from a villager had brought him here, pleading for help with a boy named Thomas, who was no longer himself. In the vestry, Thomas's father, John, sat hunched, his hands trembling. "He's in the bell tower," he whispered, his voice barely audible. It talks through him. It knows things. A low, rumbling growl echoed from above, shaking dust from the rafters. Michael's heart thudded, but he gripped his rosary and nodded. The staircase to the tower spiraled upward, each step groaning under Michael's weight. The air grew colder and whispers slithered through the walls, too faint to understand but sharp enough to cut. At the top, a heavy trap door pulsed with a sickly yellow light, like a dying star. Michael steeled himself and climbed. Thomas knelt in the center of the tower, surrounded by rusted bells that hung like dead things. His head hung low, hair matted with sweat, and his fingers clawed at the floor. When he looked up, his eyes were pools of ink, and his voice rasped, "You can't save him, priest." The bells hummed, vibrating with unnatural energy. Michael raised his rosary, his voice steady. "By the power of God, I command you to leave." The tower shook, the bells clanging without being struck, a deafening cacophony. Thomas's body jerked upward, suspended in midair, his limbs bending backward. The voice laughed, deep and guttural, shaking the walls. "You're weak," the demon spat, its voice a chorus of snarls. "This place belongs to me." A shadow poured from Thomas's mouth, coiling like smoke, its edges sharp and jagged. It lunged at Michael, its touch like ice burning his skin. He stumbled but kept chanting, his faith a flickering flame. Michael pulled out a vial of holy water, his hands shaking. He splashed it at the shadow, and it screeched, splitting the air with a sound like shattered glass. Thomas's body thrashed, his screams mixing with the demon's howls. The shadow clawed at the air, desperate, its form fraying like torn cloth. Michael knelt beside Thomas, pressing the rosary to the boy's chest. "Leave him now," he roared, his voice raw but unyielding. The shadow writhed, shrinking, its screams fading to a pitiful whine. Thomas's eyes flickered, a glimpse of his true self shining through. "Help me," he gasped, human again. The fight dragged on, the night endless. Michael's strength faltered, his body aching, but a warmth spread through him, a quiet strength. With a final prayer, he banished the demon. The tower erupted in golden light, the bells falling silent. The shadow vanished, leaving only stillness. Thomas blinked, his eyes clear and blue, his breathing steady. John rushed up, tears streaming, and hugged his son tightly. The church felt lighter, the oppressive weight gone. "You did it," John sobbed. Thomas smiled weakly, whispering, "I'm okay now." Michael stepped outside as dawn broke, the sky painted in soft pinks and golds. The church stood tall, no longer menacing, its curse lifted. The townsfolk would whisper of this night, but now with awe, not fear. Michael walked away, his heart light, knowing the light had triumphed.